everyone, I'm Nick, and this is my journey of how I went from Colombian thinker to global entrepreneur. So, a little bit of context about myself. I'm Colombian, so this is where my country is, and I'm from Barranquilla, where Shakira is from. So, that's a little bit the reference. I'm living right now in Silicon Valley, in Mountain View. It's been an amazing experience. I've learned a lot of things, met a lot of cool people, so that's been super cool. And I've been an entrepreneur since the university. I've always had my own company or startup. So this was my first take on that. So this was during the university. So we did the logo, the vision, the mission. We did an electronic board to control robots, but we didn't do anything else. That died over there. Then I started working with my father in his cheese company, and I started doing the automation of this machine in order to get the due date printing. And I was supposed to use like an industrial PLC, but I tried, I couldn't, so I built my own. And it's still working there, so it's been like 12 years and it continued working, so that's super cool. So then after that, I started an home automation company, and I was able to have a booth with Intel back in Bogota. So we did a home automation hub. It was very interesting. It took us around a year and a half. But then we did a cool project, but never sold any units, so the company died basically. And then I got into agriculture. So this was a project where we did build these boxes that went in these machines that were made for sugar cane harvesting. And basically, the idea of this machine was to track all the agricultural labor of the machines, and I have to be on these big machines. And one of the challenges that we had is, in order to go there, we had to have like a big truck or something like that. But we didn't have money to buy one, so we just took buy a motorcycle and took classes to go there, like ride motorcycles. So yeah, I was the one going over there, being 1 a.m. At night, seeing the stars, waiting for the machine to stop in order to change or to check the electronics. So that was a very interesting experience. Right now, I have a company. I'm a founder and CEO of Deep Sea Developments, similar to the one before, same name, different company. So what we do is product development, electronic product development. So we have a very nice team of 25 people, mostly in Colombia. We are Raspberry Pi design partners, microchip design partners, Arduino. It's been a very interesting and rewarding experience. And we do things like this kind of consumer electronics, thermal cameras we did during pandemics, and we have done also EV chargers. And then another thing about me is that I'm a maker. So one of the latest things that I tested was tufting, so making rocks. This was a very cool experience, very relaxing, far from what I normally do. But these were some of the rocks that I did in the process. I also like doing cosplay. So I for Halloween I did this dead mouse. It's a DJ helmet, and I put a small little hat, a Colombian hat on that as a reference. And then I wanted to dress up as the character of a song that's called Kangaroo Court. Basically, it's a zebra that turns into or disguises himself as a horse. So I went through all the process of doing my face casting, all the molds in order to get the part, like the prosthetics. And then this was the final result and the comparison with the original one from the video. Then I went into 3D printing, so I 3D print a couple of things, and basically this was my disguise, something like a demon, something like that. But yeah, it was a very cool process, and I enjoyed it a lot. And most recently, I've been doing helmets. So this helmet I did for someone that went to Burning Man. It was a mind control helmet, so he had a very cool concept, and I helped him make it a reality. I was supposed to bring this helmet here, but it got lost on the mail. So instead of that, like 5 days ago, 6 days ago, I came up with this version. I like the concept of a helmet. So yeah, that's what I did, and it's still a work in progress. But there we are. I'm a sixth studio ranger as well, so I was able to join the program this year. Very, very cool, very nice. And I am the first person in Colombia that get an RFID implant on the hand. So basically, a chip that is not in the middle of the hand; it's more like here. And I don't have one; I have two. But yeah, whenever I define myself as an entrepreneur, a maker, and an electronic engineer. But it's not like these are different things. It's more like they are joined together, and there's me in the middle. And basically, I want to give you three stories on how those aspects of my life don't live like in separately. They help each other to yeah, for my personal growth and that. So the first story is how I went from volunteer in Makers Colombia to being a six studio ranger and being here in front of you. So back in Colombia, I helped with the Colombians Maker Group. After a while, we started doing something like a podcast. So every Wednesday, we did a meet call and talk about different topics: 3D printing, Dungeons and Dragons, electronics. That was a very cool experience. So I was being active in that community. That's on the maker side. And then on the entrepreneurial side, in my company, we did an EV charger. We did a spin-off out of it. I got a grant. We got a grant for $400,000 in to continue the company. And this year, we were invited to go to Vietnam. So we were already in Vietnam, so it's kind of close. So we came here. We came for the Canton Fair, and then when I was in the Canton Fair, I showed all the images and things on the Colombian WhatsApp group, the Makers Colombia, to the people. And one guy, Gabriel, was in that group, and he happened to be also a Six Studio Ranger. So he told me, like, have you talked to Six Studio? Like, I know them, they are very cool, but I don't know anyone from there. So he gave me the contact, I was able to meet, and that's how they later invited me to be a ranger. And then we were able to, I was able to join in open source in Silicon Valley to the event, meet a lot of cool people, and it's similar to this, like a Maker Faire, so have a great time over there. The other story is around how I went from an electronic badge to a crowdfunding campaign. So there's an event in the US that is called DevCon. It's a hackers event, and I've learned a lot of things. But the first time that I knew about this event was because there was an electronic badge, similar to the ones that I'm wearing. That's why I have all of these things here. I couldn't believe that there was an event that instead of having like a paper badge, they had like actual electronics on it. So I went to DevCon because of that. I didn't know anything about hacking, anything. I just went because of the badge. And then it was so cool that besides being an electronic badge, it was a challenge. So there were people that went to the event and spent 3 days only trying to solve the challenge in here. That was super cool. And then you will always also being able to interact with other people. I fall in love with the concept. So I get back to Colombia at that moment. I live there. And I talked to the team, and it's like, we have to do something similar. So why don't we create our first open source product, and let's do a crowdfunding campaign for the first time as well. So that's how we created DeepLink. DeepLink is an open source micropad that we did, and we launched in a webpage that is called Crowd Supply, that is open source for crowdfunding for open source projects. And we were able to sell in more than 21 countries. At the moment that we launched, we did $13,000. Right now, it's like in 26. This is a little bit not updated, But it was a very interesting experience. We learned a lot about the whole process. And then also based on that, we started looking about things like ham radio, software-defined radio. So we decided to do another project that it's called Libra. It's a software-defined radio, open source. This project was not as good as the previous one in terms of sales, but we learn a lot in the process, and also we get more additional projects on the company based on that project. So that's how that motivation of like maker spirit to see like an electronic badge end up having products in the company. This is another view of the Libras. And the last story is about keychains. So one of the things that we started to do a while ago was electronic keychains, like PCBs. It didn't have any electronics on that. It was just cool, beautiful design. And the origin of that is because a saying that we have, at least in Colombia, that it's te saqué el llavero, meaning that I took you off of my keychain. It's like I don't want to be your friend anymore. That means that the other way around, if I'm in your keychain, then I'm your friend. So we wanted to make keychains so people have we were on the top of mind of them. So that's how we start doing different designs of keychains for our company, keychains for the makers community. I have some of them here. If you want to see it later, I can show it to you. And that became a reality. And it was very interesting how I met people that I didn't know about. I showed them the webpage or whatever. They saw my logo and they said, like, wait a moment, I think I know you. And they took their keychain and they had my keychain on there. So that was a very cool experience. And the funny thing is that in my company, they say, like, why are we wasting money and time doing this? It's like we should do like online marketing, but this is like a waste of time. But no, it worked, and we were able to get like a couple of clients out of that, and it was a very cool and had a great time designing and doing these kind of things. These are just like more photos on that. I was able also to do a class on that on an event in the US, teaching people how to make their own keychains. That was very cool. So to end my talk, there's a saying that says that in the field of observation, chance favors only the prepared mind. That kind of means that you're lucky if you are in the right place. And a lot of people that have companies, startups, they say that they have been lucky. Like they had the luck to meet this person that changed the destiny of their company. Yeah, there's a lot of luck involved there. So for me, being a maker, it has increased the opportunities to get lucky. And that's how I managed to join my entrepreneur life, my background as an electronic engineer, and yeah, the makers. This is another version of it. Luck favors the prepared. But yeah, that's basically it. These are my social network. If you want to contact me, yeah, thank you very much.
I see your helmet is pretty cool. So what does it use for?
For fun. So that's a little bit the idea. It's like I do this for fun, but in this 2 days, like yesterday, I've been able to meet a lot of cool people, and now I have new friends that they invited this week to go to know their startup. So the actual use of this, you would say that just for fun, but it helped me new people in the startup community here in Shenzhen. So that's a little bit the idea. Right now, it's just the lights. It has two eyes. Eventually, the idea is to have like a camera so it can track people's eye and like look at them, blink. That's the idea. But I did it 5 days ago, so I didn't have enough time to finish it. So
Okay, thank you. Why do you want to put chip in your hand?
So there are people that have tattoo. There have people that have piercings. I don't have them. I have a chip. So I saw a couple of videos of people entering doors using only their hand or turning on their car or their motorcycle just like that. And so yeah, I say like I wanted to do that. That was like 13 years ago. I've done projects like opening doors with it, and also my computer. So instead of logging into my computer, I just have a reader and I just have to do, and the computer already logs. But at the end, having a chip in my hand, it's a very good conversation starter. So yeah.
Okay, thanks. It's good to put a chip in your head. Why not just put it in your head?
Maybe eventually, like at that moment, that was the safest thing that I knew about. And I talked to a cousin that she is a surgical assistant. I showed her the videos, and she said like, yes, I can do it. So we bought it Amazon, and she did the process. But yeah, I don't know something in the head that it's safe or cheap or that. Eventually, maybe. Yeah, why not? Thank you very much.